What's going on, y'all? My name is Enoch. I'm here to inspire, motivate, and encourage you to be the best version of you that you could possibly be. I know that ain't an easy task, but let's go. Welcome back to Divine Motivation Podcast. Man, I appreciate you being here, tuning in, listening, whether you're watching on YouTube, on Spotify, iTunes. Thank you for being here. Like, subscribe, send this video to somebody. Follow the Instagram, Divine Motivation _. I literally give you motivational videos every single day. Try to help you out. You know how it is in the morning time. You just wake up. Sometimes you ain't feeling it. I try to give you that spark. I try to give you that spark to just get you going for the day. Have your mind, working. It's good to have our minds working in the morning, because you know how you wake up sometimes. It'd be crazy, but I wake up like on 10. So basically, yeah. All right. So last week, what did we talk about? I think we talked about like purpose and stuff like that. And my goal is to really help people pursue. You know what I'm saying? Just at least pursue whatever it is that your New Year's resolution was, or whatever goals you have, whatever visions you may have. But through that process, there's so much things that you need to learn that helps you fulfill, or not even fulfill, actually walk towards whatever it is that you want, whatever it is you're trying to achieve, like the vision you have for yourself. And one thing that's very important is with your vision, without values towards that vision, it's going to be a lot harder to get to where you think you need to be. With your vision, there should be values. Like you need to have that foundation, that value system. Like, what am I okay with? Because there's a way that so-called successful people, there's a way that it can be done that don't have no integrity, that has no character attached to it. So if your vision for yourself is something that you see is in your heart, is in your core, make sure your values line up to it. And I'm talking about on all bases of life. Because a lot of times we try to separate our goals, our passions, our visions for ourselves with who we are as a person. Whatever it is you're trying to achieve, your character should be attached to it. Who you are, the essence of you. What are your values? What do you stand for? When it comes to your vision, like in your purpose, how do you separate what you're supposed to attach to wherever you're trying to go? Like what you should be saying no to. What are the things that line up with what you're trying to do? What are the people that, because we in a world where it's like, yo, you got to network. But it's like, do they match where I'm going? Like I was talking to my boy and he was like, somebody like he knows relatively, and asked him to do a podcast with him. And he's single, and he said he be talking like crazy, like talking about cheating. And he's like, I'm trying to get married and I proposed to my wife and all that. And he's like, that don't really align with what I'm doing. So it's like, I can't really go on that platform and entertain that. And like, that's a value system right there. It's like, yo, it's cool what you're doing. Like, I ain't hating on what you're doing, but for me, for how I perceive myself, how I want to be perceived, that doesn't align with what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? So it's very important to just, even if you don't write it down, just start thinking about, what are my values? What am I willing to do? What am I not willing to do? What am I willing to compromise? What am I not willing to compromise? Like, Are you willing to cheat the system to get so-called success? Are you really ready to grind and get to it, knock on doors and really get it out the mud? Or do you just want to fast track? Because you know how often we talked about the journey. Like the journey is what prepares you for that so-called destination. The journey is where you build your character, where you build your value system, where you learn like that integrity. Like there's a direction I could go that could lead me to where I want to go, or there's some things I might have to compromise of who I am. Am I willing? Like for me, I'm not willing to buy followers. I'm not willing to buy a blue check. Nah, that's just like for me, everything has to be organic. I'm not willing to do things like that because I feel like it's putting on. And if you do it, like I ain't mad at you. That's how you feel like it's gonna get you to buzz the network that you need. But for me, it doesn't fit me. I'm not the type to go out there and force engagement. Like I want it to be organic. If you see my page, if you see what I'm doing and you like, yo, I really rock with that. That's what I want. I don't want to pay for someone to follow me. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, figure out, that's why it's so important to figure out who you are. But through this process, if you don't know who you are yet, it's okay. Because through this process of growing and trying to figure out who you are and what you want to be, that's when those tests start to come. That's how you figure out who you are. That's how I'm able to tell you, I know who I am. I know my character. I know I have integrity. I know I have accountability, consistency, empathy, discipline. I can speak on those things because I stand on that. And there's nothing that anybody can say that will change that. But it takes doing that inner work and knowing who you are, what you stand for, what are your values, what's your faith, what's your belief system. You got to have some non-negotiables. And if people don't rock with it, it is what it is. You got some values. Don't cheat yourself. Don't cheat your purpose. Don't cheat your gift. It was given to you for a reason. Work it. Figure it out. Go through the process. Fail. We talked about that before. Fail, yo. Learn. That's how you grow. That's how you become who you're supposed to be. You have to be tested. Your character has to be checked to see if you're really who you are. Your integrity has to be tested. So, through your vision, through your process, through your purpose, through your gifts and everything that you're trying to achieve, make sure your values line up with what you're trying to do. Make sure you're accountable for everything that you say you want to do. And not just in the feeling of it, but because you said you want to do it. So when you have your vision, make sure your values line up with the vision so that you can actually achieve your purpose. That's the episode for this week. I appreciate y'all tuning in. You know what I'm saying? Like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. Follow Instagram, Divine Motivation _ And let's keep doing this thing. I appreciate y'all. Vision. Values. Let's go.